Hello! My name is Ruby, and today I was going to do a spring wrap-up of the books that I read in spring, maybe books that I bought in spring, maybe a little update on what I'm reading now and what I'm planning on reading. By the way, I live in the southern hemisphere, so for me, spring has just ended and we've started summer, which is exciting and distressing in equal measures, so that's why it's spring. The first book that I read in spring was in September, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars because I felt like it's not quite a 5-star read, but I did really like it. It made me cry a lot at the end, even though I knew how it was gonna end. I knew I was gonna be really sad, but I still read it, and I still cried a lot, and I was still really upset. If you know the myth, you know how this is gonna end. This is about the Greek hero Achilles, basically a retelling of the Iliad. Basically it follows the two main guys, Patroclus, I don't know how to say his name, the whole book I just called him Patty because I didn't want to say it wrong, Patty, and Achilles. There's a lot of speculation about whether or not their relationship was romantic or was purely platonic. This book takes the romantic stance on it, which is interesting, but honestly I thought that even if it hadn't been romantic, it's still a very moving story in like the love that you can have for other people. Highly recommend. I liked it a lot. The next book I read in spring was one that I read in October, also the only book I read in October. It was A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. This book I gave a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad, and I did like it not quite a bit, but I did like it a bit. I liked it. This book is about the Victorian era, I think, and it's a boarding school, and there's magic, and there's like a cult, and there's a lot of strange happenings going on within the school and within the characters, and it's an interesting read, and I did enjoy it. The next month in the season is November, and in November I read the majority of the books you're going to be seeing in this video. The first book I read in November is Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. I think that's how you say his name. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars, I'm pretty sure. Yes, a 4 out of 5 stars. I was supposedly reading it for Alberto Resende's book club. He's an actor and he's a book club called Resende Reads. I did really like this. I found it really interesting. It had some really good quotes. This book is the author's recollection, sort of, not really. It's based on the author's experience in Dresden, which was a bombing that happened in World War II of a city. But it's also very strange and about time travel and aliens and just like the bizarre human experience. I liked it. The second book I read in November is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars because I did like it. It's my favourite Adam Silvera book. I've read his other ones and I liked this one because, believe it or not, it was the most uplifting. I cried while reading this book. It's very sad. Very bittersweet, I would say. They Both Die at the End is about a world where there's people that you get notified when you die. So they ring you up when you're going to die and they're like, hey, you're going to die. And then there's an app that's called the Last Friends app where you can find a last friend to spend the day with, and shockingly enough, the two main characters in this book meet each other through that app. I like this book, made me cry, my favourite Adam Silvera. The third book I read in November was All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. And I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. About miracles, a family, and the desert. It was kind of slow in some parts, which was really annoying, but I still did like it. Like, it wasn't something I was dying to read. How Maggie Stiefvater wrote the desert in this, which sounds kind of weird, but she did it in a really nice way. And one of the characters, Pete, and the desert, they sort of had this like connection, and I really liked how she wrote about that. I thought that was really cool. The final book I read in November and in spring overall is one that is very well known and I'm very late to get to, and that is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I liked this book. I liked it a lot. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. If you don't know, this story follows Charlie, who is a freshman in high school. It's in America. I'd say at its core, it's about friendship, family, and dealing with mental health issues. It's really good. I really liked it. It's popular for a reason because it really resonates with a lot of people in regards to how Charlie feels, to how the whole exploration of friendship and family and love and that sort of thing. I found that really touching. Charlie was a really wonderful character and I really loved his narration of it. I just loved him. I really loved that despite it dealing with dark topics like mental health issues, it still had a really positive, hopeful sort of message throughout the book, and I liked that a lot. I liked this book. It was a great way to end my reading season. Moving on to the books that I bought recently, obviously there are these two, which I just talked about, so those don't count. I did get 3 more books because as my school has just ended, we had like prize giving, so I got book vouchers from my school and I got some from my family as a congratulations for finishing high school. This first book is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I got this at a secondhand bookstore because I need to get a specific edition for school next year, which is when I'm going to university, which is kind of insane. I don't know much about this actually. I don't think I know anything about it. I did know at one point, and I found it interesting enough that I knew that I wanted to read it, and then when I saw it on the class, like the book list of what we'd be studying for controversial classics, I was like, this is good. So picked this up. I'm excited to read it. It looks quite snooty. Do you think? A little bit snooty? Early readers were shocked by its hints at unspeakable sins. I can see why it's in controversial classics. The next book that I got was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and look at this beautiful cover. It's so cool. I got this book mainly because I'd been doing a late night Wikipedia spree and I landed on Mary Shelley's page and I was reading up about her. She just seemed like a really cool person. Just such a character that I was sort of like, oh, I'm gonna support you, I'm gonna get your book. It wasn't just a purely, she seems cool, I'll get her book sort of thing. It was also because I'm interested in it. You probably know what Frankenstein is about. It's about a guy called Frankenstein who makes a monster. Frankenstein's monster. And then there's a lot of debate about morals and what makes a human and what is alive and stuff like that. I didn't even notice until I was going to pay for this, but there are some really cool illustrations in here that just make my little heart sing. Ooh. Oh, that's a big hand. That's a big hand right there. And like that. Oh, they're just so cool. Gosh darn it. I'm really excited to read this, especially with this edition because it seems freaking awesome. The last book that I bought in this season is The Final Empire, which is Mistborn Book 1 by Brandon Sanderson. This book is very big. It is 600 pages, which is not a little bit. I have started reading it. I have read about 100 pages in, but I'm just having a break from reading it at the moment because it's just a lot. I do want to read this because the world does interest me and I do like the characters. I'm just not quite getting into it yet. I am reading another book, and that is This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. There you go. This book is really interesting so far. If you don't know, it's about monsters. I'm not 100% sure what it's about, to be honest. I just sort of started reading it. Sort of a world gone to chaos because of the monsters that are created by human sins. Like if you kill somebody, then a monster emerges and they kill other people. And you can either pay for your protection or you fight for it because it's different sides to the city. And it's interesting so far, and I like the characters in it so far, so I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. So thank you for watching this video. That's the end. Just thanks a lot for watching it. It means a lot. Let me know if you liked it or what I can improve on or stuff like that. And I hope you have a lovely day / afternoon / night / week / month / year / life. Have a good one. Hopefully that was cute. Bye.